kid, which, you know, was an awful time for me. I just wanted to, you know, run away and never come back. And also in my family, there's a family member, my nephew, who suffered bullying very, very badly, all the way through school. And
when you say bullying, what do you mean by bullying?
Well, you know, it always starts out the same. It's name-calling, and then it escalates to violence, and then it becomes something else, and it's you know, in the end, we end up having, like what we saw in the papers with the girl that had her face slashed open, you know. I mean, that's how deep things can get now. And also kids are going away and killing themselves because they actually can't deal with the fact that they're being put through such anguish at school.
I think it's interesting that what they're obviously trying to do is criminalise some elements of bullying, because when it becomes violent, and as you say that the young girl who had her face slashed, I mean, that is a criminal act and should be, you know, termed as such and should be dealt with as such. And maybe the word bullying isn't really appropriate anymore, you know. And you're saying it starts with name-calling and always kind of graduates further. Well, it doesn't necessarily. I don't know whether we need two kind of definitions.
There is low-level bullying, isn't there? And
well, we're going to talk more about it after the break.
Can I talk then?
You can talk then too, yeah.
Do you know what you think?
But in just a minute, Nicholas Parsons. Do you get it? Yeah. Radio 4. Yeah. Yeah, very highbrow. Welcome back to Loose Women. Still to come today. Surely the Bill's most vicious character yet has leapt to his death. But now that Gabriel Kent is no more, what's next for Todd Carty? He'll be joining us later on. And now, remember, if you've got a problem, the Loose Women may be able to help. We'll certainly try our best. Whatever your dilemma, pregnancy, infidelity, family problem, just email us at loose.women@itv.com and we could be giving you our take on Wednesday's show on your problem, for what it's worth. Now, talking about bullying here and the government supposedly getting tough on bullying, I must say one of my worries about it seems to be all stick and no carrot. And though I hate to agree with you on anything to do with politics, Carol, I do think the government is kind of going down that road. But this thing about what should be classified as bullying, I mean, the bullying that I was brought up with was name-calling, and, you know, I can see your bra strap and you want to snog grape, not yours. Oh. That was at least a bit of worry.
Made me glance down.
Which is a hell of a lot different from somebody getting their face slashed. I mean, I think maybe we're in danger of lumping it all together.
Well, you know, I think the criminalisation of it should be the assault side, you know, and I think you're wrong when you say that all low-level bullying, in other words, name-calling and just sort of ganging up on kids in the playground, which goes on, you know, kids do that. Kids in nursery school do that. You know, they're always, like, you know, picking on other kids for some reason. They grow out of it if they've been brought up correctly, but they don't always go on to slash someone's face or cause someone to commit suicide. And I think those cases are, although they do happen, and they should definitely never be accepted, they should be ruled out, but they do happen, but they're quite rare. The general bullying that goes on in schools is, I think, sometimes harmless, and it's up to kids. Sometimes it is, it just happens, and kids should be able to. I know some kids can't, and I'm not saying that they're weak, but I'm just saying that most kids really do just deal with it. They don't want to get anyone else involved.
Because you've had experience from all...
I would strongly disagree with that, because I think, actually, bullying is now becoming something that's getting more and more out of hand, and actually the kids that are just name-calling, that's becoming more rare than actually kids that are coming home beaten up.
Well, kids take knives to school now.
Well, exactly. They do. I mean,
but you know, that has to be stopped, and it is a criminal thing.
Yeah, it does have to be stopped. And I think, unfortunately, yes, there was long ago now, really, that it used to just be name calling. I mean, it's not really.
Well, you talk about your nephew. What happened there?
Well, that was unbelievable. I mean, it started in school, all over a girl, by the way, because he started going out with this girl, and they wanted to go out with her, and she chose him. Right. So, and they always come in gangs, always in gangs. So they're all kind of ganging up. If it's one-on-one, it's slightly different. And they're started in school, kind of name call and everything else. Then it's, we're going to get you after school. Then outside of school, actually, there were times when my sister was in her house and there were about 7 or 8 boys down my sister's path trying to kick her door in to get to Trevor and bring him out. And beat him, basically. And they're threatening to, you know, cut his throat and all this kind of stuff. and it's gone on into like being 18, 19, 20, they were still doing it. And it took 4 years before my sister found a policeman who was actually willing to do anything about it.
Why didn't they before?
No, and obviously we don't want to give any
assault.
details about names and things like that, or any more details, but I mean, as a case in point, I mean, why did it take 4 years?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that sounds to me, that's not what in my head is bullying. I mean, that sounds like criminal behaviour.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying nowadays, unfortunately, it's frightening exactly how many cases of bullying escalate into that.
See, and Carl, you were talking now about nipping in the bud. I mean, you know, that kind of situation in the bud,
maybe
I mean,
it's the
that
school
sounds...
that I went to, and I can only talk from my personal experience, although my niece was bullied as well. She didn't go to school for quite a long time. You know, with me, I was bullied by, you know, horrible girls at school. But, you know, you just have to get on with it. You know, that's life. Life is tough, and you've really got to know how to get through it, because... You know, if you get wrapped up in cotton wool from the age of... Well, how do you deal with your kids?
Well, Shane... Oh, I'm actually speaking, am I? I'm thinking your voice. Shane and Jake obviously get a lot of stick because who the parents are and stuff, but, I mean, the way I've dealt with it, because I went through it with my sisters, was I just say to them, look, if they come up and go, you know, your mum's fat, ugly and rubbish on the telly, just go, yeah, I know. Because actual fact, they've nowhere to go if you say that. The bully's got nowhere to go. They just go, all right.
That's a good tactic, though.
But it's worked for them, you know.
Yeah, ignore
I
them.
slap them when they come home for agreeing with them.
Yeah, and I mean, if it can be nipped in the bud at that level, that's great. But I mean, clearly, once it gets on to intimidatory behaviour, I mean, you have to hope that on this occasion the government will follow through with this, because I mean, kids' lives being made an absolute misery by thugs and nothing less than thugs. There has to be, you know, a legal response to it, doesn't there? Right, well, I promised you men today, didn't I?
Yes.
So let's bring one on. And what a man. Serious actor, stand-up comic, game show host. He's even got an OBE. There's nothing this man can't do. And, of course, he knows a bargain when he sees one. That's what you're on. Please welcome Nicholas Parsons.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you. What a joy to be here.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you here, Nicholas.
To be with 4 loose women at midday. Isn't that a wonderful bonus?
On a Monday.
Oh, exciting. On a Monday as well, yes.
Well, you've been in show business something like 50 years. We won't talk.
Probably more
numbers.
than that. I don't
Is
know.
it?
I've stopped counting. Probably 60 years since I did my very first show. It was a Carol Levis discovery many years ago. Probably doesn't mean anything to anybody here. He was a great discovery man of the period. Anybody heard of Carol Levis? One person. You look old enough, darling. It shows you how old I am, doesn't it?
And 35 years of that you've been doing one of Colleen's favourite shows, Just a Minute,
38
on
years,
Radio
actually.
4.
I knew that. She got that wrong. I knew it was 38 years.
And it's such a good show, isn't it? I mean, the premise being that each of the contestants has to speak for 1 minute on a given topic, without repetition, without hesitation.
Or deviation.
Or deviation.
And the others have to challenge them if they do make any of those, slip up on any of those things. And, of course, it's an incredible concentration job for me, because I have to listen to every single word, because I never know what the challenges are, and decide if they have repeated something, or if they have hesitated, interpreted, or deviated. So I actually concentrate much harder on that than anything else I do in show business.
Well, of course, you are the adjudicator. You're not actually used to delivering the minute, but
No.
this is your opportunity, Nicholas. I have my bell.
Oh, no. I don't do this. I'm on the other side.
It was a bit of a long preamble, but I got there in the end, and it probably took about 3 hours to do that. So anyway, Nicholas, on the subject of, let me think, loose women, you have 1 minute.
Oh, loose women, what a delightful subject. You see, this is one of the most enchanting programmes in the whole of the IT television network. It is fronted by the impeccable Kay Adams here, with her style and aplomb, and the wonderful way she reads her autocue and never fluffs it at all, and other wonderful women, Carol, Kim and Colleen. What joy can any man have but to come on the show and be with these enchanting women? And when the first time they asked me to do it, I said, 3, 4 loose women. Oh, this is going to be exciting. But afterwards, I can tell you in the green room, it was very proper. They all changed their personalities entirely. I thought this was a chance for me to show that with loose women I could be really engaging and express myself and have the most wonderful, exciting time. But no, it didn't turn out like that. It was all very proper, and they had some wonderful discussions. They are so talented. It's amazing what happens. Loose women, what a joy. What an interesting subject it is. And they're pointing over there. I'm sure I've repeated myself, and I'm sure I've hesitated. No, I haven't hesitated, but I am repeating myself. Now, brace the bell.
you can say that we're a joy as many times as you like, Nicholas. That's
Oh, is that why I
Bend
didn't press the
rules.
bell? Because I was paying you all those lovely compliments.
Yes.
But you deserve them.
Oh,
no, you
thank
do
you
really
very
are.
much.
It is compulsive viewing in our home at 1:30
Really?
during the week. Absolutely.
Your wife's a big fan, isn't she?
Oh, she's a huge fan. Oh, I mustn't talk while Loose Women is on.
No.
I said, well, darling, if you're going to be a loose woman with me afterwards, that's all that matters.
Because you're a bit of a romantic, aren't you, Nicholas?
Oh, yes. I'm an incurable romantic. It's the Scottish thing, isn't it? Because it's like that. It's my
No.
Scottish blood.
Yes, it is.
We're rather sentimental, you see. But it's good there's good sentiment and there's mushy sentiment. Good sentiment is having a remembrance of things which have really shaped your life. And I mean, I know every woman I've ever been associated with, and I look back with great affection because it's part of my life. It's made me what I am today. And every other man I've